What's up everyone, my name is Mark, I'm a personal trainer and sports scientist, and this is the 4th day of the Get Jeans Fit program for the 22nd of this month, which is the September, the Jeans for Jeans Day. So let's get started, here we go. Alright, let's start straight away. This is day 4. In the description below you find a link to day 1 if you don't know what this is all about. So let's get started straight away. Now what you're gonna need is a towel, a little bit of space, that's really it. We're gonna be starting, and I want you to jump in straight away into a shoulder width stand. We're going to start with courtesy lunges. So you're going to step over at the back and try to lower yourself all the way down. Try touching your knee onto the floor, coming back up. We're going to do one side at a time, and we're going to be doing 10 each side. Now here, important is because we've got a torsion in our knee. If you've got knee problems, I don't want you to go as low. Or you can also don't have to swing your leg as much around. So the torsion increases the more I get the leg around. So if that sort of brings some tension here, I'm just gonna step over a little bit less, okay? So you should be still doing this sort of 10 times each side. And then once you've done 10, we swap over to the other side. This leg is always pointing to the front, the other one steps around, stays on your toes, and you're gonna be lowering yourself down. Try keeping your upper body pointing forward, and here we go. Now, this is a really good one for the inside of our thigh, which a lot of women have problems with, because as we rotate up, the inside of our leg is sort of important to do this sort of motion. So going down and coming up strengthens the inside of our thigh, but also everything else, bum and stuff, is involved. All right, so the next exercise is also really good. It's called the crunch squat. So you're gonna go down to your knees into a 4-foot stand. Make sure that your wrists are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hip, and then you bring your knees, they're sort of hovering over the floor, and all you're going to be doing here is pushing the bum up into the air and lowering yourself all the way down to the floor, pushing up and down, and here we go. Now this one, the good thing about this one is, it's when I do this with my clients, they're always like, Mark, what does this actually really work out? And you don't know, you will never know if you haven't done it. So what I'm challenging you to do is to do 30 of these, and then you know what it really does. The reason why it's called crunch squat is because it actually exercises your core and your legs at the same time. So this is a really nice one. For the sake of this video, I'm not going to do 30, I'm just going to stop here, but I want you to continue to do 30 in total. Next one, you need your towel, or you might not, doesn't really matter. You're going to be lying down on the back, bring your legs up into the air. If you can't keep them straight like I do, you can also bend them slightly. You're going to bring your arms up and try to point towards your toes. So for the purpose of demonstration, I'm going to show how the ideal one would look like. You put your toes pointing towards you, and then you're going to come up and touch your toes. If you can't go that high, you might be looking more a bit like this. I want you to make sure that your lower back is pushing down to the floor and engage the core. And from here, that's sort of the easier version. It doesn't really matter if you can touch your toes or not. That's not the goal. So I want you to do 20 of those, and then we're gonna go back into the whole set. Okay, so let's recap. So the first exercise is a courtesy lunge. 10 each side. Courtesy lunge, and then you swap over 10 on the other side. Then you go into the crunch squat, which I just showed you, and you do 30, 20 to 30 if you can. And then we're gonna transition into the toe taps. So you're lying in the crunch where you touch your toes. If you can't touch your toes, it doesn't really matter. Also do 10 to 20. Then that's your first set. You have a little break and you do this whole thing again. 3 times if you're a beginner, 4 times advanced, 5 to 6 times if you're a pro. You might need a towel. Also, a little tip, if you want to get the most out of these workouts, try to keep the pause in between those sets quite limited, meaning try to keep the pause as low as possible, but as much as you need. We want to try to do this a little bit in terms of HIIT, where we try to transition in between these exercises as quickly as possible. The other thing why this workout is really good is because we're transitioning between a lower, upper body and then a core exercise, which means the blood is pumping in between our body as we transition through these exercises, and that's called peripheral training, and it's really effective. Now, without boring you to death, let's see you tomorrow in day 5.